Hey guys, we're here with another series of unit tier lists. This is going to be for Cavalry, and I am super excited to finally do this. It's been a while since my last one, about a week or so. So let's go ahead and jump into the Cavalry tier list and see what everyone thinks. All right, so first things first, we have a whole list, right? We have a whole list of all the cavalry in Conqueror's Blade. So what we need to do first is figure out, I'm going to explain a little bit what all of these different tiers are. So we have OP, which stands for overpowered. And then we have meta, which means these units are used in the meta, like they're used in TW a lot, they're used in sieges a lot because of how strong they are. And then we got balance for units that, they're fun to use. But they're also not horrible units. They're somewhere in the middle. And then we have filler units that are like for the lower leadership units that obviously aren't super good, but they're actually really good for filling up your leadership when you only have like 200 left or so, So and then of course the last one is not worth the barracks slot. Like this unit is not worth making. This unit is not worth making is what that means. So we want to encourage people to, also make your own list. Like, I don't expect everyone to agree with me or us on what we pick, but feel free to leave comments and let us know what you think of our list. I'm happy to hear you guys out. So let's get going. All right, so let's start with the first one. I'm gonna actually throw the chat up there. There you guys are. You guys are there. Let's do this. All right, so our first unit that we are going to talk about is Cataphract Lancers. Cataphract Lancers. Where do these guys belong? I hear so many things about how their charge is broken. They don't have a lot of defense. They just overall can't do much. So I'm curious on what you guys think. People say balance, but honestly, is anyone using Cataphract Lancers? Is anyone using them? Filler? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they're worth the barrack slot right now. Right now, they're not worth it. They're not worth it. I don't care how hard you try to justify Cataphract Lancers, but they are not worth the barrack slot right now. I mean, people that have spent that much time into leveling these bad boys, they're so sad. The people that put time into an investment in them, yes, they want them to, they want it to be justified, to use them, but there's no justification. They just don't do anything very well. They have a decent charge, but yeah, there's a lot of T4s with decent charges too, do you need to use Cataphract Lancers? I don't think so. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. We have Couteliers. And I actually hear a lot of good things about Cuddleers. Cuddleers are used in a lot of different setups. They're actually only a T2 unit, but they have pretty good lances. I almost feel like they're meta. To balanced. But what do you guys think? I'm curious on what we're gonna do with Cuddleers. Because I feel like they could be good fillers. They could be good balanced units. I don't think anyone kind of base it do we play Couteliers for fun, or do we play because they're good fillers? I think we play them because they're good fillers. I feel like Couteliers are good fillers is why they definitely are used. No one's gonna base their leadership around it. So I definitely think it's a filler unit. Next one is Dagger-Axe Lancers. So with Dagger-Axe Lancers, they actually have a pretty good charge. They're really good at killing archers. They're really good at getting to the back line. But they're kind of expensive for what they do. It's almost like, why get Dagger-Axe when you can go fire Lancers, right? There's only so much more leadership you need for fire Lancers, so it kind of defeats the purpose of going Dagger-Axe. I feel like Dagger-Axe is good, is just a balanced, fun unit to play. I feel like Dagger-Axe is just a fun, balanced unit. I mean, they do have some defense, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into Fire Lancers. So Fire Lancers have blunt damage, and they obviously have muskets. So what do we? I honestly have never played them, so I'm kind of curious on what you guys think of them. I feel like there's a few people that like to use them. I don't think they're meta. They're definitely not meta. I don't think they're meta. People aren't bringing Fire Lancers for meta. Like, what are they can't beat? What are they gonna do to stalwarts? What are they gonna do to flamethrowers? Like, that's what I'm curious about, because they can't get through stalwarts. I feel like they're balanced and they're just a fun T5 to use. Yeah, like I feel like they're definitely a balanced unit. The problem is certain cav are just so overpowered that they, like, Fire Lancers are overlooked. They're highly overlooked because of other units that are really strong right now. So I definitely think they're a balanced unit. They do exactly what they're supposed to do, and they're fun to play. So next on the list is Ironcap Bowriders. Ironcap Bowriders. I have never used them. I don't even know if they're worth the slot. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? That's what I want to know. Do you think they're a good filler? Do you think they're not worth the barrack slot? Like, I don't see them really being. Are they viable at all? Are they viable at all is what I want to know. Yeah, I don't think they're worth. I mean, they're fun to play in the beginning, but they're definitely not worth. Like, I think I would pick Corchins for sure over Ironcap Bowriders. I think I would go Corchins. I definitely think I would go Corchins over Ironcap. So next is Ironcap Scout Cavalry. Ironcap Scout Cavalry. These guys have swords. How is their charge? They're T2. They're T2. How is their charge? That's what I'm curious about. Like, do they have a decent charge? Are they a decent filler? Filler not worth. Like, I mean, honestly, all the T2 cav is kind of like, eh. They die to, like, anything. A musket can look at them and they just die, right? So, like, are they even worth making? They can be nasty. I don't think so. I don't think so. I feel like they're not worth it. I don't feel like they're worth it. Nah. No, I always feel like if you see these, it's probably because they want to, you know, test them out. But I have never seen Ironcap Scout. Like, no one uses them. Those are better than Cuddleers and not for the charge. Like, the Cuddleers have a better charge for sure. I mean, what do you use Cav for? You use them for the charges. That's what you use them for. You want the charge. And, like, right? Scout's better than Coutelier. You think they're better. A slower cav is Coutelier. Better charge. The Couteliers have a better charge. Like, what are you using these guys for? I don't. But overall, worse than Iron Scout? You think so? They attack from every direction? Alright, we can move it. Alright, for your guys' sake, I will move this to filler. I will move this to filler. Because I have not used them enough to actually, you know, really say, like, oh, they definitely don't deserve it. I'll put them in filler just to appease you guys. But come on. How many people are using them? Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Alright, boys. Alright, the next one is Kheshigs. Kheshigs. Where do Kheshigs belong on this list? Where do they belong on this list? What do we think of Kheshigs? Do we think they're meta? Do we think they're OP? I mean, they're definitely not a balanced unit. They're definitely not balanced, guys. Like, everyone's saying OP. And I definitely agree with you guys. Kheshigs are very OP. Their back charge is just so devastating. Their back charge is just so devastating. It destroys everything. It kills heroes. It kills anything. And it's just so crazy how broken it is right now. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully they start looking at the back charge on these guys. Like, their normal charge is fine. It's the back charge. The back charge is just so strong. So let's go ahead and take a look at Cavallos. Cavalry Cavalry. These guys actually have some damage. I mean, they're pretty much non-cons on horses, but they don't have bleed damage. but they do have really good accuracy. They have really good accuracy, and they have a decent charge. What do you guys think of Cavallos? A lot of people like them. I feel like they're balanced. For a T4, I feel like they're pretty balanced. I mean, I don't know. I don't think you use them as a filler, but definitely as like a balanced unit. I mean, I don't really use them too often, but even at a low level, these guys are decent. Like, they're decent. Like, they can do stuff. I think they're balanced for sure. A lot of people agree with me on the balance for these guys. I definitely think they're balanced. Okay, let's jump into Korchins. Good old Korchins. Bumpy's favorite unit. Korchins are pretty much non-con archers on horses, but much low tier. They have decent accuracy. They don't really have a charge that does too well. Korchins, I feel like, are a good filler, or they're not worth. It's one or the other. They're right here somewhere. They're definitely right here. I just don't know if they're not worth it though. Like, let's be honest, guys. Are Korchins worth it? Like, are they just fun to play? Like, what are we saying? They need a lot of farm to have it. Let's see here. I feel like they can be a good filler. I think they can be a good filler. I'm putting them in filler because they are a very fun bow unit to use at an early level. They're only T3. They're really fun. They're really fun to use at a low level, and they're better than Ironcap Bowriders. I think they're better than Ironcap Bowriders. I think so. They're just fun to use, and they can be useful. All right, so let's jump into Monastic Knights. Monastic Knights. I mean, I definitely think monastics are in the meta. I don't think they're OP. No, I don't think monastics are OP. They're too slow. They're way too slow to be OP. But they are very tanky, and they have a semi-decent charge. I definitely see them in a lot of TWs. So I do want to say meta. But I also feel like they're very balanced also. But I feel like they're used so much that they are in the meta right now. They are in the meta. I don't think monastics are OP. They're definitely not OP. They got nerfed. They used to be OP. They used to be OP. Guys, they got nerfed. They got nerfed, and their defense didn't really hurt too much, but like they did get nerfed, and they're so slow. The thing that doesn't make them OP and why Kheshigs are OP is because Kheshigs have the speed. Like, they can get around, they can get back charges, they can flank so easily. Monastics are so hard to get around. They just take forever. So they're definitely not OP in my book. Definitely not. But they're very good cavalry that are used a lot in meta, in TWs, and in defenses. I definitely see that. Like, Kheshigs are just that much better right now. Let's go ahead and jump into Prefectured Heavy Cavalry. Prefectured Heavy Cavalry. I hear the charge. I hear their charge is really good. So, like, are we saying they're balanced? You don't see them in TWs. You don't see them too often in sieges or field battles. Like, these are a balanced unit that are sometimes used. They're just balanced. They have a decent charge that puts them right in the balance category. I don't think they're meta because they're not used enough. They're definitely not used enough. They could become meta if more people would start using them, see their potential. But right now they're not. And it's because there's a lot of good charge T5s. There's a lot of good charge T5s, so people just prefer to use those, like Kheshigs, right? So why go T4 when you go T5? So maybe eventually, if there starts getting some nerfs at the top, you can start seeing some of the T4s come up. You can start seeing them come up. That's for sure. I think they are probably the best T4. I agree with you. But the problem is they're just not meta. That's the only issue I have. All right, let's talk about Ren Rangers. Ren Rangers. So Ren Rangers used to be OP. What was that, season 3? They made changes in season 4? Season 3, season 4? Somewhere in there. They made changes to Ren Rangers, right? I definitely feel like people are using them, but nowhere near what they used to be used. Like, they used to be used all the time. Like, they would counter Kheshigs, they would counter monastics, they countered every type of cav. But now, since they got nerfed, they don't. They just, I mean, honestly, I feel like they're a very well balanced unit. People use them in TWs a little bit, but no, I don't think that often. I don't think so. I think they're very balanced. Grand Rangers are very balanced now. They used to be very OP. They were very OP. They would just kill heroes so easily. They would kill heroes like they were nothing. They were hero killers, and they would kill units no problem. And they have a decent charge. But right now they're a balanced unit. They're a balanced T5. They're right there with Fire Lancers for sure. If Fire Lancers don't make it the meta, Grand Rangers don't right now. Yeah, they did get nerfed quite a bit. All right, next one is Selamchids. Next one is Selamchids, guys. What do we think of Selamchids? I like Selamchids. I personally like them, but I'm not gonna let that cloud my judgment. What I want to know is what you guys think about it, because I feel like they're a very balanced unit. I feel like they're a very balanced unit. I like them a lot. They're actually a good filler unit. They are a good filler unit. Like, I think most people are using them as fillers. They're right here. I feel like they're right here. They're definitely not in the not worth barrack slot, but they're right here. They're not meta. They are being used in, all right, so they are being used in sieges, but you won't see these in TW. Like, you don't see Selamchids in TW. You definitely don't see Selamchids in TW. So that's the one reason I don't think they're meta. I definitely think they're down here. They're too expensive to be filler. That's true. Oh, you think so? I feel like they can fill. I feel like they can still fill, but you guys are thinking balance, huh? All right. I can feel that. I do like them. I do like them a lot. We are gonna put them in the balance category. All right, next on the list is Sipahis. Sipahis have a really good trample, and I feel like there's enough people using them. I wonder if people would say they're actually meta. I feel like Sipahis might be meta right now, in my opinion. I feel like they very much so are like in the meta, or they're balanced. They're like right here. I'm not sure what, because I see them enough, but you don't see them. I have seen them in TWs too. I've seen them in TWs too. I feel like they're very balanced, but I don't know if they're meta. Yeah, I think they'd be balanced. I think Sipahis are very balanced. Their charge isn't really good, but their trample is amazing. Their trample is really good. So let's go ahead and jump to the next one. The next one is Winged Hussars, and this is my favorite cav. This is my favorite cav, and I know for sure it's meta, but do we think Hussars are OP? Do we think they're OP? I feel like they do exactly what they're supposed to do. So they have a really good balance, and I definitely see them as a balanced unit with stalwarts. I don't think they're OP. I don't think they're OP. They do counter Kheshigs, but they counter pretty much all cav. They counter pretty much all cav except like Rangers and Fire Lancers maybe. But they counter infantry, they counter range, they counter a lot, and they're like having the no interrupt charge is beautiful, and it makes them a really big meta unit. So let's go ahead. Meta, not broken like Kheshigs. I feel like they're very meta. They're not broken. They're not OP like Kheshigs. Kheshigs are very broken right now. It's their back charge. The back charge on Kheshigs is just insane. It's just insane. It's so much AoE damage. It's very broken. The speed, the charge cooldown, the back charge. Yeah, there's just too much good things happening with Kheshigs right now. Hussars just break the line. Yeah, Hussars are really good at breaking the line, but then they get stuck. Like, if you can't get them back, they usually all die. And they mostly do piercing. They do a lot of piercing damage. And then Kheshigs are doing a lot of slashing damage. And they have nowhere near as much as Kheshigs. Alright. We are on our last one, guys. Yeomen. I have never used them. What do you guys think of them? This one's 100% you guys. This is 100% you guys. What do you guys think of Yeomen? Do we think that they're worth like the balance set? Like, are they filler? Are they not worth? Like, do people even use them? They are bad. I'm getting a lot of they're bad. Really? So we're right here. Filler, not worth. OP, best cav unit. Nice, Johnny. What do we, I mean, they have a nice lance. Is it worth using? Do people use these at all? Damn, a lot of people coming out the woodwork. Not worse. Worst cav, to be honest. Jeez. Okay. 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 All right. Well, we will go ahead and put these right here where they belong. Not worth the barrack slot. Guys, that's literally all the cav. That's like, there's not a lot of cav. And as you can see, like in OP we have Kheshigs, and you guys clearly know that the back charge on Kheshigs is super strong right now. Their charge cooldown is just, and their speed is just, they're just such a great cav unit right now. They're very overpowered. But right now the meta I see is Kheshigs, Monastic Knights, and Wing Hussars. Those are the main cav that you're aiming for. If you're aiming for cav, T5 cav, those are what you want. Especially for fielding, especially for when you're on a defense and you need to clear the point. You're running your cav in there and you're trying to clear. We have a lot of balanced cav, which is good. That's good to see. I'm happy to see that there's so much of a balance with cav, but there is a few that are actually a bit overpowered. So I definitely feel that. But yeah, as always, guys, I feel like you guys helped me so much with this. So I want to say thank you guys to the chat. Like, the chat's always great. Like, you guys are always giving me feedback, and that's all I want. Like, I want this to be a community thing. This is our list. It's not just my list. It's our list. So I definitely want it to be something where you guys feel a part of it. It's something we do in the community. Hi, Mom. But yeah, that is the end of the tier list for Cavalry. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.